So, good morning, everyone. I am your facilitator this morning. We are going to talk about one input, many activities, shared output. So, what is one input, many activities, and shared output? It is where the teachers plan for a shared experience with the whole class. Right? For example, in this picture, it's shown there that a teacher is handling a book. So, for example, a teacher will read a big book where it can cater a different learning activities. These activities are designed to meet the learning objectives for the multi-grade. So students also works on a different task, which meet different outcomes. In each group will have a representative to share the completed work. So the next slide, I'm going to show you the simple or easy way on how to understand the one input, many activities, shared output strategy. So there are just three steps on this strategy. So the first step is the teacher will give one input to the whole class. So say for example the subject's English, wherein the whole class will do a sharing of the big book experience, where the class will be listening, will be able enjoying the experience with the same story that the teacher will read. And then, as they go along with that story, they'll examine some features during the reading. Here, the teacher is very crucial and plays an important role because the teacher will do an interactive input. So, it could either be done through the direct teaching now after the whole class input was going into. So, the step two, which is the many activities. So here the students will be divided into different groups depending on the abilities that they can do. So in the previous lesson in module 3, we discussed there that we have to consider the abilities of each student since we are handling a multi-grade classroom. So here, very important that the teacher really knows who his or her students are. So depending upon the purpose of the teacher. So here are example, the class is in group according to their abilities. Can either be according to grades in their abilities. So here, grade 4 students are group, also grade 5 students are in group, and also grade 6 students are in group. So in every group, they will do a different task. So for grade 4 group, after reading the story and being shared by the teacher, they will be drawing a map of the events of the story and the correct sequence and write labels and sentences to explain a story map that they've created. So as what you have observed, grade 1 and grade 2 and grade 3 have different tasks. For the grade 5, they will have a different activity compared to the grade for students because what they will do, they will read a story again. And in their group, they will answer questions about these stories and evaluate how they feel after the story was shared to them and after they have reread the story. So for the grade 6, would also be different activity compared to the previous two groups because graphics group will grade 6 group will predict that could happen in this story and they will be writing a continuing story about other events that could happen next. Now, given in any specific time for them to accomplish in the task after such a time. So now they will go to the third step, which is a shared output. Here, it will be a whole class sharing time. The students could be arranged in a circle formation or in the three groups now will share their work with the rest of the class and explain that their task was and how they did accomplish it. Second is each group, or there could be an assigned group organizer wherein they can display their group for about the story. So here in this case, the story maps the question and answer and the predicted continuing stories for the whole class to read and enjoy. Afterwards, the teacher may add more labels to display with further questions for the students to think about later. So this could be a calm beginning of a learning center with more task cards about these stories. So an important role here of the teacher is the supervision in giving up an interactive discussion while the sharing is ongoing. So that's it for the one input, many activities, and shared output. So let's review. In one input, many activities, shared output, the first step is give one input to the whole class. Afterwards, give different activities to the different groups, followed by shared output after once they have finished the task. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening.